What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another edition of No Love for South Texas. Today on Ep.3, I got Gabe Porvida. Hey, how are you doing today?
Doing good, man.
Doing great. Man, awesome. You guys, so if you are from Laredo, you know who this is. This is somebody that's been in the scene in Laredo for quite a while. He's in Porvida Tattoos. He's the guy that also does the Porvida festivals, which if you have gone to them, man, they're awesome. So I actually wanted to start kind of talking about that. I know that it's coming up on 21st, 22nd, and 23rd of this month. So
basically, it's just like a huge tattoo shop with over, I think we have 60 booths this year, so it's 120 tattooers from all over the United States and Texas, man. A couple of people from Mexico. It's insane, man. So basically, it's just a party, man. You show up, there's food trucks outside, coffee trucks, tattooers inside. Cold Brew's going to be doing our alcohol sales this year, and that's it, man. It's pretty awesome.
Oh, that's great. So, how many years, I know that there was a year that you guys were, I think you guys either did cancel or you weren't for sure.
No,
it happened, right?
It was right at the pandemic. So I think this is our 5th year doing it. It should have been 6, but we canceled. I think it was like 2020 or 2021, and that was it, man. I mean, that whole time was really crazy, but. We came back, man. We did last year, and last year was like a little uphill, and everybody was kind of about it. But this year is going to be full force, badass.
Definitely, man. And if I'm correct, you guys do that at Life Counts, right?
Yeah, we do the Life Counts. Webb County bought it out, so now it's the Webb County. I know, man. If you look online, there's a whole plan for it, and they're adding a huge arena. They're adding like a baseball field, and it's insane, man. Like what they're gonna do to it's really crazy. But yeah, man, it's gonna be.
I was there actually recently. We went for the fireworks when there's the celebration. They do different fireworks, and man, the amount of people that were there, bro. It was like the whole thing was just packed.
Yeah.
And then we went
getting in and out.
Yeah, and recently we went also for when it's the fair.
Yeah.
It's like when they have the life fair, like with all the cattle and all that stuff. We were there also for that, and I mean, they had a whole stage set up. They had like a small carnival going, and it's like, so yeah, man. I mean, I believe
the potential for that place is amazing because that stage in the back is ridiculous, but no one ever uses it.
No, and dude, and it's so weird because when we were there, we were in the carnival part because I was there with my kids. And they wanted to get on a Ferris wheel they had there, and we got on it, and it's like the lake's like right there. It's like right on the side and everything, and you forget Laredo's huge. Like you sometimes you do forget, man. But I mean, it was cool though, man. We had a really good time. And see, I didn't know that. I didn't know they were gonna expand, and if they do, that's something that should be
crazy.
That should be great, man.
I hope it works out, man. But yeah, this is our 5th year there. So far, so good, man. I mean, everyone's been really cool. Everybody in town. They dig it, man. So
that's great, man. That's awesome. So really quick, man. So and what you do with your tattoos and everything, man. Like how long have you been doing it? How did you come up with the name? I know that's a lame question.
It's not a lame question because it's funny. It's because it's so self-explanatory, man. I've been tattooing for 23 years this year. Might be 24 now. I started like in 98. My first tattoo I ever did was probably in like 97, 98. And everybody tells me I need to count from then on, but I didn't start professionally tattooing until about maybe late 98, early 99. So it's been almost 24 years more or less. So yeah, it's wild, bro. It feels like a totally different lifetime. So like back then everything was super different. And I've talked to this with a lot of people where they, like, oh man, tattooing it's changed so much over the years. And like, it really has because back then, you wanted to get needles, you'd have to somebody would give you a white piece of paper with a bunch of weird numbers on it and a phone number, and you had to call and be like, hey man, who gave you my number? What do you want? And you're just like, dude, so-and-so gave me the number. The guy would hang up on you, call you back in like 30 minutes. All right, man, you checked out. What do you want? And I'm like, what the fuck? Dude, it was super weird, man. But, or you had to learn how to make everything from scratch, which was a fucking terrible thing, but we did it and it was awesome. So I was at the very tail end of the old school tattoo guys, and then a couple of years in, you could start ordering. There was like a million catalogs where you could buy stuff from.
Okay.
It worked out. So I'm happy. I'm happy now that I don't have to make all my shit.
Yeah, because I remember. I mean, you recently got your shop going, but I remember.
Oh no, man, shop's been around for 9 years, bro.
No, I understand. No. Okay, but see, that's where I'm heading. Because I remember the very first time that I saw you, or that I got to know who you were, and you were working with Lazy over there in McPherson.
Yeah.
You guys were right next to the Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
And that was the very first time.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. That's the
it's
first
funny
time.
that I people know me from different times. Like before Daisy's, I was working at another shop with this guy, and I was there for a couple of years. I worked with Beto for like 7 years before that, and it's like you don't remember me from that time, but like your dad was like, oh yeah, I remember that kid. It's weird. I tattoo people's kids now, and I tattooed their parents before that. It makes me feel so old, bro. It's like,
dude, I have to ask this since you brought up Pino's name. I have to know if this is true. So there's a rumor, if you want to say it, or your urban legend, you want to do it like that he'll tattoo on you for free, but you cannot ask what he's gonna do.
hell no, bro. That dude would charge you no matter. He wants to pay his bills, bro. That's always been bullshit, and it's always been it has to be something satanic.
Okay, yeah, dude, I wanted to know because, dude, every single time that I hear about artists, his name always comes up.
Because he's fucking amazing, man.
And that legend always comes up that he'll do it for free, but you can't ask him what it is. And I don't know what it's like. I'm like, I don't really think so, man. I mean, I'm pretty sure an artist is not gonna give up his free time.
No.
Like, it doesn't work like that. So
for some reason, he's an urban legend, bro. Like, if you've ever met him, he is everything they say he is. He's a fucking dick. He will fucking let you know. He doesn't give a fuck. Oh, you want a Jesus head? That's fucking bullshit. It's garbage. Why are you doing that? Like, he's a jerk, bro. And it's funny though, because he's being a dick because he thinks it's hilarious. So I remember, was it Tony Romo was number 9? So in his shop, he had the Cowboys jersey upside down, so it's at 666 from the arms.
Yeah.
Because he was like satanic. And he just did it to piss off Cowboys fans. He didn't really give a shit.
Yeah.
So I always thought that was all really funny.
This is man. Like again, like I said, his name always comes up. I always wanted to know that, and I've asked different artists, and see, so I always get like different answers. Some people are like, yeah, man, and it has to be like fucked up shit, and I don't know what, and I'm like, I don't know, man, but you know.
No, man, I've known him for 20-something years. I started tattooing. When I first started tattooing, I tattooed with this. I learned from some Mexican Indio from Mexico City that was like straight up, like he had long dreadlocks, bro. His whole arm was blacked out. Drop acid every morning. Like he was a fucking psycho. But apparently he was really famous, I guess, in Mexico for being a famous tattooer. So when he moved to Laredo, well, he went to North Laredo, and I was working at a bar, and we became friends. So when he moved over here, he showed me how to do pretty much everything. And after that guy took off, I went to go work for Beto for a while, and I was with him for years, man. And it's funny because I've seen him just destroy people, like just a fucking ass. And it was always because he thought it was fun. Like literally, that's all it was, and it wasn't like satanic or because he was a real asshole or anything. He's the nicest dude. He just thought it was funny to like fuck your day up. So he would, and that was awesome, man. That was like really good. But no, that's it. He never tattooed for free, and if anything, I mean, for the longest time, he was like the most expensive tattooer in town, bro. So, but his work was fucking amazing.
Yeah, so I understand. But you have, I've seen you post this several times, and you have I believe it's true, which is like, you know, good tattoos are not cheap.
True, man.
They're not. You want a cheap tattoo, you just like, you know, deal with the consequences that come with it, like where they're gonna come afterwards.
You know, I'll be honest with you, man. Like people that come in and have, like for example, that's why I'm sorry I was late yesterday, or I didn't come in. It was an insane week of just nothing but jerks walking in the shop, and for some reason they came in huevos, dude, this whole week. It was crazy. I had a guy walk in with $400 sunglasses, you know, like all decked out, and this dude was just, man, like, hey man, I want something. All right, man, you know, you're looking about $350, $400. Oh man, well, how about if I do this instead? And that went on for a good like 10 minutes of him like changing what he wanted because he wanted it cheap. And I was like, if it's out of your budget, bro, like save up for it. Like if you're gonna pay $400 for those fucking glasses, I doubt you went to the sunglass place and was like, man, a little too expensive.
Yeah.
Fuck no, you're paying fucking full price for those Jordans. Pay full price for the fucking tattoo.
It's good.
But they don't understand that shit, man. It's the same thing for barbers, man. You got a good barber and you're like, $50 is a little too much. I'm like, bro, that dude's like taking 45 minutes out of his fucking day to like make you look fucking amazing. And you're gonna like try to cheap about it.
Because like I'll be like, I have no hair. I'll be honest. I got no fucking hair.
But you can still go to a barber, get that hot towel shave and shit, man.
And that's where I was going, because sometimes I'll go with my son and we'll get like he'll get his haircut and I'll always ask like, hey, can you light me up, like fix my beard or whatever.
Yeah, man.
But they do a really good job. So if you have a point, it's not like I'm gonna tell them like, oh man, well I could have done this at home. Yeah, dude, but like, are you gonna make yourself look that fucking good? Like, no, you're
it's
not.
funny, man. Like, my homeboy owns Libertad, and we talk about this shit all the time. Like, it's funny because it's tattooers and barbers are like almost the same kind of like business model. We deal with the same kind of clients. You know, every day someone turns 18, every day your hair grows out a little bit more, man. So like, if you're losing a client, that's what this dude tells me all the time. He's like, if you're losing a client, you lost him because you did something fucked up or you didn't do a good job or whatever. But there's always going to be another client. So why are you beefing about shit? Why are you worried about the price? Like, if I'm not for you, there's going to be somebody else that is for you. You know, so it's wild, bro. It's how it is.
Nah, I understand that. Well, sticking still to the whole like the tattoos and everything. What is I want to say, man? What is the one tat that you can say like your very first tat that you can say like, oh, like?
Oh, I know what my first tattoo was. I have a homeboy, Jason. We had been friends since 4th grade, and I think like in middle school I was probably 12 or 13 years old, and he stole a motor out of his mom's record player, which I later found out her mom was pissed because she actually used it, and we made like a jail style machine, and I tattooed a heart on my leg, and I did a Punisher skull on his hand, and I think I might have been 14 about that time. So I tattooed both of us. And funny enough, down the road, like, you know, I was still tattooing myself, being an idiot as a teenager. And then I moved away from Corpus Christi. And I went back a couple years later and we were both tattooing. We're like, oh shit, man, like it's crazy. So yeah, it's just, that was my first, that's like the very first tattoo I ever did. I tattooed myself a bunch when I was a kid. Don't recommend it. It fucking hurts, you know, you do fucked up shit. You regret the shit that you get. It's fucking dumb.
I wasn't, man. I mean, I think I remember we were hanging out with someone's friend, and I was dating my wife at the time. Like, we were just still dating, right? And it was a girl. I'm not gonna say her name, but she was like, oh, like I want to learn how to tattoo and this and that. And she had the brand new machine and everything, dude. Like, right? And me being a dumbass, I was like, oh, dude, we'll practice on me. Like, what, like, you know, like let my wife do a drawing, and then like you can like do it on me. I swear to God, dude, if I show you my leg, I only have like one part left out of the whole fucking thing.
And that's
nothing stayed.
Best case scenario,
like
bro.
Nothing fucking stayed. I literally, like, the stencil itself was on my leg for the longest time, like the purple lining, it stayed on my leg for the longest time. Even though I was scrubbing like crazy, and it wouldn't come out. Like, it took forever to come out. But there's literally like one little piece, like, I want to say like this right here, bro. Like this, that's like the only little fucking line. And even then, you have to like look very fucking closely. And sometimes I even forget that it's there, dude.
I was expecting you to tell me like I only had one piece of my original skin left.
Fuck
it's all fucking rotted out, man.
Nah, fuck no, dude. No. Nah, man. No, and then ever since then, I've been very picky who I get my stuff with. I had an experience where like my very first one, which is actually the one that you cut. The very first one that I got, bro. I went. It was just lettering. That's all it was. It was just lettering, nothing much to it. The guy charged me like $95 then for lettering, something super small, man, very little. So that was like my first experience, right? But again, first experience, so I didn't know if that was good or not. It wasn't until I went with somebody else and I got lettering on this arm. The guy's like, I can do that for like $50. And I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, but I went with that guy. He charged me like 90 something, and then he told me something. He's like, yeah, man. He's like, the thing is that like, if it's your first tat and you tell him it's your first tat, he's like, that's why he overcharged you. And I'm like, I don't think that's true.
Fucking charge everybody the same. If you want lettering for me, my $100 minimum is gonna fucking do it. That's it. $100 for me to do hard on you, bro. It's never about the price and that whole thing about they charge you that. that's some fucking ghetto ass fucking Laredo fucking bullshit, bro. It's bullshit. Bullshit.
Thanks, man.
Honestly, man, like, people come to me all the time and they give me shit about my prices, and I used to feel really down about it, and I was like, you can't afford me, bro. Like, that's what it is now. Like, you can't afford Gucci, don't fucking cry to Gucci that it's too fucking expensive, bro. You know, like, that shit's wild, right? It's wild to me that you would try to undersell me to myself, bro. Like, oh, man, like, that shit's fucking wild.
No, I understand that. And it's, dude, I can honestly tell you
But then you explaining that.
I can honestly tell you that the work that you do is amazing. I mean, the stuff, I have 3 stuff that, like, they're my go-to, man. I love this thing. I have this t-shirt on this one.
Oh, yeah.
I have the anchor of this side, and I have that one piece that we did. Do me a favor, can you close that door? We had that one piece that we did, like, in one single session. Man, and if you look at them, bro, they still pop out. Like, they still pop out. They still look like really good color. Like,
I'm not for everybody, and that's the thing, man. And I understand that. Like, I totally understand. I understand that not everybody likes me, not everybody likes my work, and that's fucking cool, man. Because you know what? At the end of the day, I'm not for you. Yeah, I'm not for you. Not everybody likes cheeseburgers, bro, and you don't fucking go complain about cheeseburgers existing. You know, that's your thing. You fucking do your thing. You have your artists. They're better than me. Ass, bro. Like, that's cool. But I don't ever worry about that. I worry about my clientele, and that's why people come to me, because, I mean, I'll do solid work. It'll last forever. I have, I have my expertise or whatever, but when you come in for an experience, man. So I'm treating you with respect. You know, we're hanging out, we're talking shit, telling you stories. I'm not ignoring you. I'm not pretending that you're fucking lower than me. I'm not treating you like a piece of shit. Like, you know, I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, fuck you, bro, and you know, and put my headphones on and just ignore you the whole time. Like, you know, if you're quiet, I'm quiet. If you're loud and crazy, I'll be loud and crazy with you. We'll talk stories, we'll talk shit, and it's fucking awesome. But I think for me, that's the one thing that sets me apart from a lot of other tattooers is that you're not gonna come in and have an ego for me to make you feel like shit, you know, and that actually goes a long way, bro. Like, having an experience is great. Like, you walk in and it's literally an experience. Like, everyone's cool. You're being talked to like a fucking human. You know, you're not being made to feel like you're doing me a favor. You know, like, fuck that, bro. Like, you know, you helped me out by showing up to fucking begin with, bro. And that made me fucking happy as fuck. So we just, you know, we go from there. And that's how I feel about all this whole tattoo stuff, bro. And the pricing stuff and all that stuff. Like, I think it's, everybody does their own thing, and it's what it is. And at the end of the day, you know, as long as you're happy, bro, I'm happy. I might not be the best tattooer in the world. I might not have been tattooing for as long as everybody else, or whatever it is, man. There's kids right now that are running circles around me in this fucking city, bro. There's a homeboy that works, I can't remember his name right now, but the dude's amazing. He's like 20 years old, 22 years old, and this guy's like, shit, bro. Like, he does work that's like, I wish that I could do work like that. And I know I can't. I don't even try. I'm not gonna try to do that style. I'll send people his way all the time, bro. Like, oh, you want a realistic, like, you know, I don't know, fucking SpongeBob fucking riding a fucking seahorse on a fucking whatever. This is your fucking dude, bro. He'll do it where it's like real. And it doesn't hurt me to do that, man. I still pay my bills, my mortgage is still getting paid, so I don't care. I don't have an ego about it. So.
That's good, man.
That's how it should be, I think, man.
It should be like that. I believe like that, and I think that it should come to a point where, like, we can all eat.
I think so, man.
So, you know, but I mean, yeah, unfortunately, there are people out there that kind of like sour for the rest of us. But the way that I see it is, look, man, as long as I'm not paying attention to bad people, and as long as I'm focusing on me and the people that want to grow with me, then we're good.
Dude, that's how it should be.
Like,
it's funny because, like, my wife's learning a tattoo right now, and we're talking about this stuff, and I always tell her, like, the only person that you need to compare yourself is yourself. So, like, I'm better than I was a year ago. And I mean, a year ago I was okay, so now I'm just slowly getting better. I mean, that's all that fucking counts. Everything else is like,
that's all that really matters. Yeah, no, you have a point, man. Alright, man, so moving out of the tag.
Let's talk about all the show stuff, dude, because I saw Boogie was like all about that shit.
I was about to say that too, man. I was about to bring that. So, let's talk about music scene, man. How long have you been involved in the scene here in Laredo?
Man, I graduated, that's how old I am. I graduated high school in '96. And in that time, it was all about black metal, bro. Like, all these metalheads were in Laredo. There was no hardcore scene. It was basically just all the metal dudes doing their thing. I think back then it was like Spectrum Wars and Scabs. There's a bunch of metal bands, man. And it was like, in 91, 92, bro, Laredo was like the best. Because it was like, there was at least 2 or 3 parties going on every weekend. There was bands playing at every party. You show up with your little case of beer, bro, and everybody shared. It was like hippie dreams, bro. It was awesome. And then mid 90s is when it started getting really good. So by maybe 97 to like maybe 99, it was just nonstop touring bands. I mean, we had everybody come down. Mortician was always down here. We've had huge bands from like from Norway that came down. Like Hades came down. They were like a legendary Norwegian black metal band. And you know, we had a bunch of really good shows, and we booked at Sal's, man. And I started getting in good with Willie from Sal's because they were doing metal shows, but he didn't have anybody to do the sound. So if I'm not mistaken, the sound that you guys hear is Sal's old sound. No, I'm wrong. The sound here was the one you guys had downtown. There was another guy who had a sound system. My bad. It was at some other bar by Life Downs, and that dude had the Sal's sound system. And amazing, bro. So like I went, I learned how to do sound, like literally touch and go, feeling how to do it, and then next thing I knew, I was doing sound for every show. So I would go and I'd buy mics and I'd mic up all the drums, and it went from sounding like decent to like, holy shit, we actually have a fucking sound system.
Yeah.
And I did sound at Sounds for fucking like shit, man, like 10 years, man. I did all the shows. And then little by little, we always had a small punk scene, but it wasn't like super crazy.
Yeah.
And I think towards the end of the 90s, when I was like, let's start doing matinee shows for hardcore bands. And I remember Boogie, I was really into metal at the time, black metal and death metal, a lot of doom metal, and he gave me I think like a Hate Breed tape or something. He was like, this is like crossover, bro, you're gonna love it. And it was the best thing I ever heard. It was like the late 90s. I was like, insane, bro. I think Satisfaction just came out in the early 2000s. So we started booking bands on Sundays. They would have metal shows on Saturdays, we'd do Sunday shows. And we'd do matinee shows for $1. No one showed up. It was like 3 or 4 kids. But we did that for so long that by the time you knew it, shit, man, Laredo Hardcore was like the shit, man. I mean, a couple years later, it was like, man, like 200-300 kids at a fucking show at Sal's, bro. You know, everybody fucking, kids were selling pizzas on the streets and shit. Like, he hustled the shit out of that thing, man. I mean, it was really good. It was really good for a long time, man. But I mean, we've seen every band come through. And then once Sal started kind of tipping out, and I mean, I can't even tell you how many bands fucking came through. We've had bands from a lot of black metal bands, a lot of death metal bands, and then a lot of hardcore bands. You know, like big hardcore bands. We had Figure 4 here, and fucking, I remember, bro. That's why I like Boogie, because he remembers everybody, bro.
He was telling us all the stories. He was telling us the story. I know one of the stories that stood out with us the most. It was, he was telling us about this show that actually had to get canceled because you guys had people protesting outside.
It was Grisun from Brazil. It was a black metal band from Brazil, and unfortunately, our homie that made the flyer, I think it was Agustin, he was a singer for Spectrum Wars. And I think he made the flyer, because I made most of the flyers back then, but I think he made this one, and it said like, on Sunday, you know, January, whatever, the gates of hell will open up, and then pretty soon the big logo, and it was all the black metal thing and a bunch of upside down crosses. Sal's Pizza. Well, the local news got a hold of it, and they read the flyer out loud. The gates of hell are opening up at Sal's Pizza. We have to go pray. So the local church down here came, and they did the night before. They did like a holy walk where they were doing the rosary and spilling holy oil the whole block around.
Oh, shit.
And they did it a couple of times, and then they called Willie, who was still the owner of Sal's.
Yeah.
And they were like, hey man, you can't do this. And he was like, fuck. So we had to cancel the show because it was like getting bad, like they were pressuring him to go. That's probably the only one that's ever, and we learned from that not to ever do that again.
Yeah.
I think that was the only show we ever got canceled because it was like satanic. But I mean, we had like Anal Cunt play. Have you ever heard that band?
No.
Don't listen to it. But their songs are literally blast beats for like 30 seconds and all inappropriate shit. And I remember the dude, he died, the singer, but he died a couple of years ago. But dude asked, before he goes on stage, he's like, hey man, all I need is a mic and a ladder. I'm like, all right, cool. And so we fucking put a ladder up for him, and he walks around and he finds a bunch of pizza pans and he puts them right beside the ladder, and he grabs his beer, and the fucking song, like the band's set up, they start playing, and it's literally blast beat, bro.
Yeah.
Jumps on top of the ladder and is fucking throwing pizza pans out to the crowd, and the song ends. 30 seconds later, starts another one, and fucking people are throwing pizza pans back at him. It's fucking hilarious. Well, then some girl that we know threw a fucking wide mouth Mickey's shorty at him, and he ducks it, and he gets down while singing, gets down off the ladder, grabs it, finds her on the ladder, chucks it back at her, knocks her the fuck out, knocks her out, bro. She's done. And then he's throwing fucking pizza pans at everybody. It was insane, bro. It was like the most stupidest show ever. And it was like, yeah, man, like that was peak Sal's, bro. And back then it was awesome because we would do like Full Contact would play, and they were still real, like they're real thrashy, which is really popular now, but back then it was like, oh shit, bro. It was like a crossover metal band. And you would have back then there was no hardcore dancing. There was a bunch of long-haired fucking kids right at the stage headbanging while people were circle pitting behind them. Like that was Sal's, bro. Like,
I think if anything, that's the one thing that I remember the most from bands that would come here to Laredo. Bands that like that been here before and whatnot, they would always be like, man, you know, you guys are the home of the circle.
Yeah, man.
And you know what? We had a show last week, no, April 1st, last week. We had a band, the band that was headlining, they're called Down Nada. The drummer, he had been here. He was telling me, he's like, oh yeah, man. He's like, I used to come here to Laredo when it was Sal's.
Yeah, man.
He's like, I remember I used to come here when it was Sal's. He's like, do you guys still do shows? And I was like, no, it's just a pizzeria now. And he gave us a compliment. Like, I took it as a fucking compliment. I think any venue here in Laredo, if you have somebody that used to play at Sal's, and they give you they tell you this, I think you should take it as a fucking compliment, because they
feels the same.
Yeah. That's literally what they told us. They were like, dude. He's like, as soon as I walked in, he's like, it just reminded me of Sal's.
Yeah,
he's
man.
like, the vibe, the stage.
Yeah.
He's like, everything just reminds me of it, man. And I told him that, I was like, dude, thanks. I was like, I appreciate that, man. That's a really, that's a great compliment. Because I came into the scene late. I want to say like 08, bro. So, you know, this was way past
and it's
Sal's
funny
and
because
stuff like
that still makes you like the older dude in the crowd. Because everybody that was like at the very beginning, I still know all of them. They're all still around. They all play in bands still, or they do their own thing. But they're all in their like mid-30s now, you know? Maybe early 40s.
I'm about to be 35.
Yeah,
mid-30, man.
Mid-30s, early 40s, and it's like, shit. I mean, these kids were like, when we were throwing shows, I was in my mid-20s, and they were like fucking 13, 14 years old. Wow, man. And I mean, we've seen people like, dude, Sal's was wild because it was safe. It was a safe spot to be wild, which is like really weird because I mean, it really doesn't really happen anymore. You know, we always were real chill with everybody. We took care of everybody. We're very respectful of the place. I remember CDC from Pennsylvania played, and back then, I think they didn't want to play the main stage area. They wanted to play a hallway, and we're like, fuck it, man. So we put them in the hallway while the other band was playing, and they destroyed the whole place. They kicked the fucking hole in the wall. It was insane, and they like really was pissed. He made us pay for it. Like, yeah, of course we'll pay for it, whatever. But it was just so raw, but like no one got hurt. But I remember that day, and I remember exactly what it was. Boogie was dating some girl. It was a very short time. And her ex-boyfriend was there and was pissed because he was like a metal guy. But he wasn't like a cool metal guy. Well, maybe now it's cool, but back then it was like, he liked a lot of that, like, I don't know, bro. He liked that weird, very, like MTV metal. It was around back then.
Okay.
So back then it was like not cool,
like more like
shit like that.
shit.
It was totally not cool. Now everyone loves it and it's
Yeah.
cool, but back then it was like, oh, you know, you do your thing, bro. We don't care. So he walked into the show wearing a button up, and we knew who he was. It was like whatever, and he paid to get in the door, and he paid to watch the bands. It was totally cool. And then at the end of CDC set, he walks out and he turns up his shirt, and he had a white undershirt with black magic marker that said "Hardcore sucks."
Okay.
And we were like, oh man, that's cool, bro. I think that you should leave because you're probably gonna get hurt. And I was being very respectful with him. I was like, hey man, like seriously, man, I really need you to get out of here before these kids see you, because I can't guarantee that nothing's gonna happen to you. And he started a fight with Boogie, and Boogie was like drunk, of course, and he's like, fuck this kid, he fucking walks off. And he's with the girlfriend, and which is the ex, whatever. And then the kids see him, and they just start fucking like surrounding him. So he runs out the front door of Sal's, and he's talking shit, cussing everybody out. And I remember somebody had a fucking bunch of batteries in their car. And he peels out, and they throw batteries at his car and break his window or something like that. And he was super pissed. We never saw that kid again. And it was just like, it was safe. Like, it was weird. Like, no one, we wouldn't let it, I mean, if there was ever any fights, I've always been a lot bigger than most of the kids there, so I would literally grab them with their shirts and be like, hey man, quit your shit, get the fuck out. And they would stop for the most part. Or we'd get people that weren't in the music scene, like neighborhood kids that were more like gangsters or whatever. And who knew that being respectful and talking to people would respect work? I'm like, hey bro, this isn't what it's about. You gotta do this and this and that. Please, fucking just chill out. And they'd be like, yeah man, sorry. And they stop fucking around.
Well, and we've had this. We had this a few times. Like, don't get me wrong. I like to get in the pit. Like, I'll get in it. I'll still get it. I'll wake up sore as shit the next day, but I'll still get in.
Yeah.
But what I do is, and this happened in a show, I think it was last month, where we had two kids. One of them knocked some girl out, and the other one was like, he was being like necio, and he was trying to like rough house with his friend. So I literally, like, the first guy, I grabbed him by the shirt, and I'm like, hey, I try to grab him by his shoulders. He didn't really like appreciate that, so he swung at me. So I grabbed him by the shirt, and I pulled him in, and I'm like, hey, you either chill the fuck out, or you have to get the fuck out. It's as simple as that. The guy looked at me, he's like, I'm sorry. I was like, all right, man, as simple as that.
Yeah, man,
and
it's
then
usually
he
very
receptive. And then this other dude, he was like roughhousing and whatnot, and with that one, I did the same thing. Like, I tried to grab him like calmly. He got all wild, same thing. I took him by the shirt, put him in, and I told him, but with this one was a little bit different, because I told the guy, I was like, hey man, I know who your brothers are. I know your brothers, I know who the fuck your brothers are. Like, don't fucking make me like, don't make me do something that I don't want to do, bro. So you either chill out. I was like, chill out, go apologize, and then like, go enjoy the show like everybody else. I was like, I'm not telling you not to get in the pit. You can do that, no problem. Just respect. But why? Because there's a lot of, and that's what I think sometimes we forget, that there's people that like, they might be here for the first time, the first show, they're enjoying something,
But they get caught up in that shit.
Exactly. And then for you to like, for you to hit them and be like, oh, well, they knew they were in the pit. But yeah, bro, but it's their first show. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's little details like that I guess I still try to implement that, which is like, you know what, that's fine, you're true, you're right. They were in the edge, they that's fine. They were near the pit, they were near the whatnot. But you also gotta keep in mind, you don't know if it's the first time here or not. Like,
Man, I had that problem with a lot of people back then. Like, Afro George was one of them. Love him and love that motherfucker, but he was a fucking menace, bro. Like, he would go after everybody, and I was like, dude, like, and I would try to talk to him, like, hey man, you gotta understand that there's people here that have never been here before, and you're gonna fucking knock them the fuck out, and they're never gonna come back. And if they don't come back, that means $1 less for us to pay the bands. We're not gonna get bands, bro. You have to understand there's a chain to it. And he's like, okay man, I get it, man. He would still do it anyways. I'm like, no, bro, what are you doing? But
I have a story with him every time I see him. Every time I get to talk to him, I always remind him. Like, I always remember, and I always tell him, this is a show. It was a really random show. It was in the back of it was right here in the back of the Home Depot. It's like a baseball place.
Oh yeah, man, that was a Boogie Bash.
Well, no.
It wasn't a Boogie Bash?
No. This is a whole nother thing. Because my first Boogie Bash was, the first one that I ever went to was right here by when it was Chacon, when it was the 7-day stabbing.
Oh yeah, man.
That was my I think I went there for like two, maybe 3. And then after that they started posting it somewhere else. But then by then I didn't really have time to go because I was working out of town and stuff like that. So it was a random Sunday show actually. It was a Sunday show with some Tory bands and some local bands, whatnot. And I remember I saw him, dude. And this is the weirdest part. He's the heaviest dude you'll ever see. But he's the most limber fucking guy that you'll ever see, dude.
Yeah,
This he goes from one side. I'm not kidding, man. This is the side. This is where he was at. I'm standing on this side, and there's a girl standing right here. So he comes from this, like, he's like swinging, he's throwing kicks, like roundhouse after roundhouse after roundhouse. I see him coming, I'm like, oh, he's not gonna hit me. But I didn't see that the girl was standing right here, dude. So all I see is his leg misses me, but all I see is like this long hair just go, wah! Dude, that girl just fell like a sack of potatoes. They picked her up, her nose, and she was like bleeding, whatnot.
Is that the one that pressed charges on him, though?
Oh no, that was Boogie Bash.
That was the one on Santa Maria, right?
Yeah, but this was in Santa Maria. The one in Boogie Bash, that story was dumb, though.
It was.
That whole story, I don't really want to go into details.
It's stupid.
I guess it was a really, really dumb-ass story.
It was the same thing. She was in the pitch. She should have known. Yeah, it's just stupid.
Yeah, but I mean, did you ever hear her side of the story?
I don't care, bro.
Yeah, it was fucking dumb, dude. Like, he told me because later on, we were working, because everybody in Laredo has worked at fucking Convergence. Everybody fucking Laredo has worked there. So, I was working there with him, and I guess the girl was like in my training. She was in the same training as me, and he told me he's like, oh shit, she's in your class, and I was like, who? And he's like, that's the girl from the thing, and I was like, oh shit. I was like, okay. I was like, all right, dude, so fuck, but yeah, man.
Man, I mean, I remember, man, there was so many, like, wild, it was wild, bro. Like, I mean, because that shit was cool, but we would get people, like, remember we had I think it was a Texas Hardcore Super Bowl, and that was the year that we cleaned out Sal's upstairs. And no one knew that Sal's had an upstairs at the time. And we did, because we had a band that we were practicing upstairs. I think we had this fight. And we were upstairs doing our thing. And we're like, you know what, this would be cool for a second stage, so we can go up and down. So we fucking cleaned everything out, we moved everything around, we made it a badass stage area. And I remember it was like, man, I don't remember what year it was. But I know that, what was it? The Hoods played. And the Hoods had, like, you went upstairs, and they had their merch table by the stairs, so you had to walk by to get in. And some other band we knew was playing from Corpus, I can't remember their name right now. And they were like a posse hardcore band, so their shit was very energetic. So everybody's fucking doing their shit, doing their spin kicks and shit. And these fucking two dudes walk in all fucking dumb. And they were like, I want to get the pit. And it was like, no, dude. And people kind of tried to warn them, and they didn't give a shit. So somebody spun kicked into them. It wasn't hard, bro. And mind you, these kids were like 100 pounds soaking wet at the time. And somebody fucking grabbed that dude, the spin kick dude, one of the two guys, and then punched him, bro. Dude hit the floor. So everybody just like immediately just grabbed those two dudes and fucking threw them out. And they went flying backwards, smashed into the Hoods' merch table. Mikey Hood and the singer at the time was like, what the fuck? So they literally beat those dudes' asses from the top story, the top floor down the whole fucking 2 flights of stairs, all the way out to the front of the fucking show. Like, beat them up, threw them out. And everybody was like, it's fucking crazy. But like that would literally it, like the scene would police itself, and it was always really good. But then we had times where fucked up shit would happen. It never had anything to do with the show. So like I remember one of our homies got stabbed by a hobo with a screwdriver outside, and they stabbed him right in the gut, and he's fucking bleeding, and he's in the back of the ambulance, and they're patching him up, and he's got a pitcher of beer, and he's just like, yeah man, I'm gonna be good, and we're just like, what the fuck? Charlie, bro, like it was wild, bro. Or we would see like fights break out, like it was in between sets, so we're all standing outside getting some air. A car pulls up to AutoZone, and there's a dude walking in front of Sal's, and the dude jumps out of the car, runs across the street, beats the dude up right in front of Sal's. They start telling each other off, and then he jumps back in his car and leaves. The fuck was that, bro? It was just random, and the guy's all bloody. Help me! We're like, get the fuck out of here, bro! Like, we gotta help you. It was wild, but it was always something that had nothing to do with us when it was hyper violent. But I mean, other than that, I remember one of our homeboys, Ramiro, also one of the most violent shows. I think maybe Full Contact was playing. They did the Wall of Death. Yeah. And every time they did that, somebody would get fucked up. And I remember Ramiro, it was one of the first Texas Hardcore Super Bowls. Homeboy was from Houston, and he fucking got hit the floor, broke 2 teeth out. And so he had to like hold them until we got home to go to the dentist to get him put back in. And now he's fine, he's normal. But yeah, he literally cracked his teeth in half. there was another kid too. I don't remember his name, but like Spider or something like that. He's some skinny little kid at the time. He was a really cool dude, metalhead, but he was like the nerdy skinny kid that was like brand new, so no one really knew who he was. And they did the wall of death, and they hit so hard that they broke his collarbone. So the dude had to get carted out, and that was at that weird the Santa Maria by the truck stop.
Yeah.
They carted him out, took him to the hospital. Show went on. He fucking shows back a couple of hours later with the fucking sling, and he's still in the fucking pit, bro. It was like, the fuck? It was insane back then, man.
Well, I mean, for me, dude, I guess the most, like violence that I ever saw, because it was always a boogie bash. It was always kind of like that. I remember the very first one that I went to, which is actually like when the whole shit with the press charges and whatnot. I remember, I think it was like halfway through the show, somebody said, I think this was a little bit after somebody here from the scene had passed away from an overdose or something. It was Cachito. So I remember somebody said, F this guy, and then that fucking put the whole fucking brawl started. I remember because again, I was brand new, dude. I didn't know what the hell was going on, or I didn't know anything, dude. I didn't know much. So I know that the fight started breaking out. People were like fighting. People were getting knocked out left and right. And I remember this clearly. I remember it clearly saying this one dude, I think he was from Austin, this black guy with dreads. He was like knocking people out to left and right. He knocks this one guy.
Was he big or little?
He was like small.
Oh man, Jared, yeah.
He knocks this guy out, like he knocks him out hard. The guy falls in front of me, dude. He hits his head. You hear the thud, like hard that we're used cement. So my natural reaction, because of everybody fighting, my natural reaction was to put my knee down, like put this knee down, put this one forward, and kind of like hover over the guy that got knocked out. Mind you, I don't know the guy. I'm not on his side. I don't know why he got knocked the fuck out. It's just my natural reaction because everybody's fucking pushing around and fighting. So then he sees me and he's like, "What's up? You're next. You're next." I look at him and I literally just did all I do. I was like, "No." I was like, "You knocked him the fuck out." I was like, "I'm just covering him. That's it." And the guy looks at me and he's like, "All right, cool deal." And he goes and starts fighting like other people. And I was just like, right when that happened, I look at the guy, I'm like, "You're your fucking own, dude." I get up, I'm like, "Nah, fuck this." Awesome. I tried to do the right thing, and I almost got my ass beat for it, so I'm like, "Nope, fuck that."
Man, Jared's fucking awesome. He's still around. He does, for as hyper-violent as that sounds, he's actually like a yoga guy now.
That was okay. So I've seen him around.
He does some mosh reacts and stuff. That's Jared, man.
I've seen him around.
He's awesome, dude. I think he was a teacher for the longest time too, so... Yeah, but he's probably he's the smartest person I've ever met. Like, we were at the last Texas Hardcore Super Bowl we ever did. I did it in Austin. It was like the send away one, like the one I wasn't gonna do anymore. I wanted to be forgotten, bro. And thankfully, I swear to God, nobody knows who the fuck I am. And it's awesome. They know me by tattoos, and that's cool, man. But we started fucking booking shows on Sundays for $1, bro. Like in 1999, man. And, I did sound, I did shows, I booked every favorite band you've ever had, I booked them down here to like 20 people. I've done everything, and at the end of the day, it's like, I was so done with it, I was so disillusioned by the whole thing that I was like, we're gonna do one last one, I'm gonna fucking get trashed, and I'm not gonna ever do it again, it's fuck this. I was really, not that I was angry, but I think I was just done with the whole, like the way that the scene was slowly turning into something that I wasn't really down with. It was a lot of egos, a lot of posing, a lot of like, trying to be something that, it was like an online thing. If you look cool online, you wore certain stuff, you wore certain bad shirts. It was like the lock and out era. I don't know if you remember that era where everybody had that like, if you had that really cool shirt, bro, you were that cool guy, and it got real fucking weird, man, and I wasn't down with it, man, so I stepped the fuck out, and I was like, just fucking leave me alone, I don't want to fucking deal with it. It worked, bro, because now we're here like fucking 15 years later, and everyone's like, I don't fucking know what this fool is, but we did that last show, and some dude dislocated his shoulder, and this idiot was like, I'll slam it into the wall like in a Lethal Weapon, and Jared's like, don't do that, bro. Walks up to the guy, so just in case you're dislocating your shoulder, he goes, all right, man. He gets him a big brick, or one of these bricks and puts it on the floor. He's like, all right, man, lean over, pick it up, and then slowly stand up. And you just hear, painless, bro. Puts his shoulder back in place. And I was like, that's the most amazing thing I've ever fucking seen, man. And I was just like, man, that was good. So for as much as Jared kicks ass, man, he's also really awesome guy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, because I'm telling you that, I was like, he literally looked at me, he's like, you want some too? And I'm like, no.
Man, and you know what? And just for anybody watching, I am in search of old videos of any of the shows that happened back then, especially Boogie Bash. I need footage of Texas Hardcore Super Bowls, any shows that Sal's. I took a lot of videos back then. I have no idea what happened to the tapes.
There's actually some, if you go to YouTube,
I did all those.
Okay, there's still, there's some that still come up, like some of them still come up.
The Texas Hardcore Super Bowl, that's at the, it's at the backs of
It's like a bodega or something.
a bodega.
Right?
Yeah, I took all those. I uploaded them. They're on some lost YouTube channel that I had up there. I know that this is the Laredo Hardcore one with all the different snippets. I did that one. I have no idea what the original is, so I have to download that one. It's really shitty, but you know.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, that's my favorite thing.
Dude, everybody, and it's funny because every single character in that video, like I still know them. I know who they fucking are. I know what they did. I can tell you, like, if you ever want to sit down and break that video down, I can tell you what the fuck is what, because it was fucking stupid.
To me, the icon on the video is the
chair?
one. Yeah, that's like the. You can watch the whole video, but that's the one part you're gonna be like.
So that's homeboy Xavier. He was like the gangster homeboy of all of us, but he loved hardcore music, and that literally would do that every single show. He'd swing chairs, he'd swing trash cans. He would throw shit around. It was fucking amazing. But that one little part of the video where he's swinging the chair.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that's the one. That's like you can say like the iconic part of that video is it's that itself, man. And I'll be honest with like I said, I came in around 08, like late 08, early 09. That's sort of the time that I came in. But I got to catch a lot of cool shows.
Okay,
I got to see a lot of cool shows. I got to meet a lot of cool people. I got to meet like. George, I got to meet Longoria, I got to meet like a bunch of group like people that like they're still around, they're still doing their thing, they're still and for me right now it's like I used to book a lot of there was this fest I mean people hear about it, but I think we did like about 5 of them. Burrito Fest.
Oh yeah, man, I remember.
We did Burrito Fest. We did like about five years. Yeah, it was like we did about 5 years ago, and then after that, that's when I started working in oil fields, stuff like that. So I didn't have to, I wasn't here, man. I was at a time always working, stuff like that. For example, when I told you, like, hey, I only have 1 day, bro, I completely stopped. And then what got me back into booking again is we had in December last year, we had the toy drive. We did that toy drive,
that was awesome.
which by the way that was amazing. We raised about, it was like 150, like about 150 toys, which was amazing. And we went to the house, the kids, like we did. I didn't want to take any pictures. Like I didn't. But at the same time, I felt like, you know what, this is just something that I like that came out. Like we wanted to do it. And I didn't I don't know, man. I just didn't feel that.
I understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, you have to remember that there are people that need to see that kind of stuff to know, oh shit, man, like these dudes are fucking doing good, like they're actually doing it.
Oh, yeah.
And so you have to remember that when it comes to like especially business stuff, man, document everything because people like to be in on the loop. Yeah, they missed out. Maybe next year, bro.
I think the only pictures that we have was a picture where the toys are in front of the tree at that place.
Perfect, man. Yeah.
And then another picture that we have is where we got a letter from the actual place saying thanks, Mr. Barcelona. Thank you so much. Like, the kids appreciate it, like this and that.
All you gotta do is post that picture and go, let's try to beat this shit for next year.
And trust me, we are looking into it. We're trying to look for we're looking into it, try to beat that from last year. We did amazing, and then from there, that's basically what caused the whole itch of wanting to get back into booking, trying to get bands and stuff like that. And I'll tell you what though, man, very first show that we had, the very first show that I did back was in March 11. I had this band called Temptress. It was Temptress, 40 Caliber Kids, Avis, and Wrecking for Redemption. And when the show started, man, it There wasn't that much local. And I was like, fuck, like this is why, this is the one part that I hated, like this is what, but as the night went on, and the place got packed, like it got packed, like by the time that like the last band played, we had people like, people near the stage, people by the bar, there's people out here, like, it was cool, man, and I guess that's the one thing that we like that I think that's awesome, like, and advice, I guess, it can be also for people that want to get into the whole booking and promoting and stuff like that. It's just don't get discouraged. Like, don't, I mean, there's going to be certain shows where, you're not going to do that great. Like,
Don't do it for the fucking money, for sure,
exactly.
man. You're going to fucking go broke.
For me, it's for that, because if you focus on, like, if you try to focus on, like, the financial part, bro, you're not going to have fun. Like, you're not going to have fun. If you do it to have fun. Do it because it's something that you love. For me, music has always been like that. I've always loved music. But I never, and I'll be honest, I never really got to do something with music. I never got to really do I never really got to do anything with music. I never really did. But now this time around, now I actually have the chance to do something with music now, and not just that, but I have chance to promote the music and stuff like that. And a lot of the shows, a lot of the acts that we have coming up. That's another thing that I've been trying to focus on. Also, try to do a more of a variety type of thing, like not just one specific genre through the whole thing. Like kind of trying to mix it up, stuff like that. And so far, we've had a really good response.
Badass,
and keep going to the
that's what's up, man. That's badass.
So, okay, man. So this is something that I ask, I've pretty much asked everybody. So, if you could book your dream show, okay? You have to pick 5 bands, past or present. Then bands that, from past to present. Dream show, 5 bands. Go ahead.
Bro, I fucking I don't want to go out anymore, bro. I don't want to book bands. I don't want to see bands, bro. There's bands that I know that are playing. Grilled Biscuits is about to play, and I'm like, I would like to go, bro, but I am done. Like, I went to go watch Madball, and I literally watched it from the back, drank my beer, I went outside, I ate a hot dog, and I went home, bro. I was over it. I don't think there's any bands that I would have been like, fuck, like dream bands. I can't think of anything that is like. And not only that, something I need to prepare, bro. Like it's 5 bands is a lot of bands, man. Like I think I wish I would have seen bands when they were barely coming out, and that's my thing. Like I would love to have seen like Witchcraft when they first started, bro. Like a big bill of like Witchcraft and like The Sword, all those 2 bands, like Candlemass when they were like big. I wish I would have gone to any of the fucking Milwaukee Metal Fest like in the early 2000s.
Well, okay, so let's for this time being, we're gonna switch up the question. So what could be the bands that you'd be like, man,
like an ultimate.
I wish this would I could have seen this band.
Okay, like at their prime, shit, bro. Let's see. I would love to watch again, like be able to see them again. Like either like really heavy, like say Cradle, Filth, and Cryptopsy, and fucking, as like the heavy ones. Like I saw Nile when they first came. It's the most amazing show I've ever seen, bro. Or it would be like nothing but like doomish bands. So it would be like, you know what? I wish I could see it. It would just be one band, bro. Or not one band, but like a couple of bands. I would like to see old '90s metal like Catatonia, Anathema. My Dying Bride in their prime. That's what I would like to see. Like in their fucking prime, like those bands, their first couple of albums where they're still metal. That's it. I'd be happy after.
Because I mean, you have a point though. You were saying right now about booking the thing. I mean,
because I don't want to see Black Sabbath now, bro, or fucking Ozzy's barely making it across the stage and shit. Like fucking seeing bands that are like, man, that guy we're the same age now. Oh man. I want to watch fucking bands like, I got to watch, I'm very lucky that, especially me and Boogie traveling a lot, seeing all bands all over the place. And I got to see Madball during, like I set it off, Like I got to see Earth Crisis, like when they were still babies. I got to see Hatebreed on the Satisfaction tour, that was like good shit.
Yeah. Like so all the bands were like when they were at their
top. Yeah, man. I saw The Sword when they first came out. It sounded like someone put a fucking CD on. And they just lip sync to it because it's so perfect, man. So, yeah, man. I think that for me that would be it. I would like to see all these bands. I never got to see them in their prime.
Oh that's great, dude. No, I mean, I think, shit, I'm trying to think what else can I ask him, man. 'Cause, I mean, we covered pretty much everything, dude. And it's just, you know what, it's the same thing that I was telling Bogey. I mean, we could go, if it comes to music and shows and stuff like that, dude, we can go for on and
Bro,
on and on talking about
when
it.
me and Boogie are
Like,
together, we fill in each other's blanks that we can't remember, and it always makes a lot more sense than us apart,
you
which
know
is
what?
really
Then,
weird.
then I think that's an episode that we need to do.
I'm
I
down,
think
man.
that's an episode that we need to do. I would love that because, like I said, on the last one that we had, we did an hour, but even after the camera was off and everything, we kept talking, dude. We sat there for like a whole another hour just talking. Oh, like
Good at that shit though, because he'll like, hey, remember when this happened? I'm like, no, bro, and he'll remember like. For most of the time, I drank too much back then. I smoked too much weed back then. So it's like I remember we had Samael and what are they called? Dimu play at some shit bar. I remember most of it, you know, but he remembers everyone's names. That was this fucking dude that owned the bar. I remember his name was Bud, and he was like, I don't have a stage big enough, so they rented out a fucking tractor trailer, like the flatbed, and that's where the band's set up.
yeah.
But I was so high most of the time that I don't remember a lot of it because Nick Barker, who used to be the drummer for Cradle Field, we were inside the bar area, which was like the backstage, and this fool made me smoke so much fucking weed, bro, that I was dying. And he was like, nothing, and I'm like, what the fuck, man? And it was like, just, I don't remember shit. But Boogie remembers everything I don't remember, so I'm like, man, like that's fucking amazing, like badass, dude. So, but yes, if anybody out there has video of, and this isn't like an announcement or anything, we're just kind of in the planning stages of it, but videos of old shows, of Sal's era, of Boogie Bash for Texas Army Super Bowl, let me know, man, because we're trying to put together a little mini documentary about a lot of that stuff that's going on. So we still know everybody, we still hang out with everybody, we still talk to Willie, bro. Like we know everybody, so we're kind of like in the planning stages right now where we're trying to figure out what we want to do and what we want to do it about, so that we can put it out there.
Oh, definitely. No, I mean, so you guys heard it. If any of you at all have any kind of videos, pictures work as well? Or
sure, man. Shit, if you have
videos,
that'd be fucking sick.
anything at all whatsoever that you have from back then, make sure you send it Gabe's way, send it his way.
Yeah, man, you can find me online.
Go ahead and
you can find any of my stuff online. Porvida Tattoos on Instagram. I don't have Facebook because, Facebook sucks. You can find all the information about the tattoo show, porvidatatoofest.com or porvidacs.com, same shit. And yeah, man, show's coming up April 21st through 23rd. And tell your friends.
That's about it. Alright guys, so with all that being said, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate Gabe.
Yeah, man, thank you, man. I really appreciate
you.
it.
Thanks so much. So I'll catch you guys later. I know next episode that's coming up is going to be with Javier Longoria from Drums of Dead, as well as myself.
From every band in the fucking world. Yeah,
this does. At Red Alert, I can go on and on.
And he'll sell you a house.
And he will sell you a house as well. So with all that being said, you guys, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys have a great night. And we'll catch you guys in the next one.